For the better part of my career, more than 20 years, I've been a corporate girl in supply chain management and logistics or classical marketing. But come 2020, COVID and the Great Reset, I got an opportunity to work in a non-profit organization which was helping young unemployed people to be able to break out of that trap of unemployment by connecting them with their first employment opportunity, allowing them to build experience, build that reference letter, and then move on to bigger opportunities. My name is Novantu Nkulwana, and in this season of my life, my ambition is to help the emerging social entrepreneur to be able to flatten that learning curve, scale up their projects, and deliver more impact quicker than ever before. Join us on the NPO Bootcamp as we show you how to level up your social enterprise. That is Anna. Thank you so much for that comprehensive overview of the Kimoja program.
Yes.
For me, the biggest win for Kimoja is the fact that it's preventative. You've mentioned that there are many different components to the drug programs that the department is running, but Kimoja is about prevention.
Yes.
Because it's always better to prevent than to try and save a young person that's in trouble, right?
100%.
Wonderful. So let's move into the next one, which I think you said you want to cover outreach.
Yes.
So how does that program work?
So outreach, one of the problems that we had, I think when we started, was we could get young people. So once we have a relationship with the Department of Education, you get access to schools. Mm-hmm. So you can get young people and you do prevention well. Mm-hmm. However, the challenge then is, what about young people out of school? Because if you're going to do a behavior change program, one of the most important key is that it needs to be cumulative. It needs to be repetitive, right? You can't just do once-off events and get change.
I understand.
Yes.
I understand.
Yeah.
There needs to be spaced repetition. Okay.
There needs to be, right? Yeah. So it was difficult for us to get hold of young people in that manner, right? So we then looked at the gig track because, if you remember, Mzwake Mbuli said, give the fish what it wants in order to get it out of water. So we thought, what are the things that young people can relate to that will get them and at least help us to keep them for a reasonable time so we can be able to have modular programs. That's what we call the repetitive programs, modular programs. So that's where then the idea of the gig track came from. And essentially the gig track is a track. It opens into a stage and it has sound, can address up to 5,000 people, and there's an LED.
Okay.
Right? So that's why 5,000 people can see from the back because of the LED. So we had that. And what we do then is that is like a magnet for young people. When they see that, it's we go, the video I showed you the other time when we were in Katlehong. We just went into a field, opened it up, young people come. Hey, I want to come then and rap. I want to do quiet. I want to do hip hop sound. They've got their own sound they give you. And then it's amazing, right? So how we do it is we've got these 47 NPOs. So we've got 3 gig tracks. They are in 3 regions, Ekurhuleni, Joburg, and Sedibeng. Those are the 3 regions. So they go to these NPOs. They have a calendar.
Okay.
Right? So what we say then is, in the NPOs, the coaches, we've got coaches who are alternative coaches. So they look for young people, let's say within Sibuke. Who are the young people who are dancers? Who are young people who are doing poetry? Who are doing whatever they're doing? And then they call them and they say, look, this is what we have. It's coming on a particular date. So what we need to do is we need to do competitions here so that when this track comes, it becomes a culmination. So in that way, then we get the young people repetitively, and then we run the Kimoja program. We run whichever programs with them, right? And when the track comes, then they get the stage, they do their thing, and community comes, they surround the track, they watch. One of the things I said to my team when we got these gig tracks was, look, the indicator for success for me is when young people own it. In other words, the Tembisa people, they know, when is this track coming? What do we want to see in the track? What do we prepare, right? And the example I used was, let's say we've got a young person who designs and does dresses. When the track is there, she can get anybody to model her a dress. There's a stage, community is there, and they can see it. And I was so glad, I think the other month, that actually happened.
Wow. So the agenda is not fixed. It's about what the community that you are visiting wants to see in that track. And they can influence that.
They can influence that if they go to the NPO. You see, that's why we keep them. And if they do a sustainable program. We've had some wonderful programs. We had Pastor Hezekiah in Irene, next to Pretoria. We ran an entrepreneurship program for young people.
With the truck?
With the truck, right? So what he did is, we have a truck, and around the truck you had gazebos.
Yes.
And in that gazebo you had Standard Bank. You had even the Reserve Bank.
Right.
That came. I think Pastor had some really nice connections. We had NYDA, everybody that has to do with the business. So young entrepreneurs from the township could go and open an account. Could go and then use the truck to speak, have a bit of fun, etc., and then have that thing go on. So it's been a very powerful tool, and one that we like. So you have the MSCs using it, the current MSC of Agriculture.
Yes. The MSCs are using it to achieve what end?
Well, for example, they have an agricultural jamboree. That would be my term, because it's my team who are usually close to it. But you have agriculture who are going to show their different produce, right? So they have stores there, and then the truck is a platform to talk, to teach, to do all sorts of things. Yeah.
Wow.
So that is the outreach program. It reaches about 100,000 people per annum. That's our target, but the team usually exceed that target.
And the message of the truck is Kimoja, or is it other programs?
So the message of the truck is, it's linked with the Kimoja, but because we're targeting youth out of school, that's why we need to have these elements. Like I said, we've got the hip hop element, we've got the poetry element, we've got music, right? So we want to find young people doing what they love to do.
Okay.
Right?
And then give them a stage to show that.
Give them a stage to show that, but in that process, get to take them through a substance abuse prevention program. So we can train them on leadership, we can train them on Kimoja. Yeah, but Kimoja is the base.
So up front, you explained how the purpose of it is to be able to create an environment where you can get a message across on a repeat basis.
Yes.
So you will go back to the same communities over and over again?
You'll go to the same communities, but the model is that when the truck comes, it's a culmination of something that's been happening on the ground.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay, so the truck is the finale. The day when the truck arrives is the finale.
It's the culmination of what was happening on the ground, right? So if you have dance groups, they must have been coming to the center or meeting somewhere and dancing and competing and doing whatever, and then getting the program. Yeah.
Okay, so when they're practicing or whatever, getting ready for the finale, that's when we get that Kimoja message.
That's where we get the
message. And is it delivered in the same way as it is in schools with across the 8 modules?
So we have flexibility with young people. We'll say if 4 or 5 modules, if you can do 4 or 5 modules, we're happy. But if you can do more, then you can do more. Okay. Right? Yeah.
So in the school environment, you've got the pre-assessment and the post-assessment.
Yes.
In the truck, how does that work?
So it wouldn't happen in the truck.
It wouldn't happen.
It would happen at the NPO.
Okay.
Right? So if the NPO is, let's say they've got a group of young people and they're saying we're going to be going through this module, then they have a chance to do the pre-test. But within the truck comes as an event, and then it goes. But it's coming. So every month, there's going to be a date where it comes. Every month, There's going to be a date when it comes. Depending on what's happening.
Wonderful.
So it was a wonderful, what can I say? I mean, the first time I saw like the young people doing music, and I just said to the guys, this is what we've been looking for.
This is what
for
we're
youth.
looking for.
That's the feeling that I just had, that, so, however, it's a very expensive, program. We hope we can sustain it.
How expensive is expensive?
It is expensive in the sense that that program alone, it's 8 million rands.
Per annum.
Yeah. Each track we bought was about 2.5. The three big tracks, 2020, at about 2.5 million per track. And then you have the diesel, you have maintenance. So we had to learn fleet management, We're just program behavior change people. So we had to get a team who are going to be dealing with fleet, insurance, maintenance, all those type of things.
So how is the project being funded currently?
No, it is funded by Gauteng DST.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is this funding that you need to go and apply for every year? Or is
we do. So it's been happening since 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been happening since 2020. It's pumping. It's one of the most in-demand program.
How do you determine that it's in demand?
Well, I mean, as I said, we have oversupply of requests of where we have to come.
Okay.
And we can't
There are people calling for the truck.
There are people calling.
Which areas are calling for the truck that you haven't been able to reach as yet?
So one of the advantages of the truck is that it reaches like areas where there's not necessarily NPOs.
Oh, okay.
So it would go to places like Devon, which are like the rural areas of Gauteng. So it is able to go there, and do things. And it can accompany, maybe there are trucks like clinical trucks that the other programs are doing, and it can go with the gig truck, which is going to create the hype. But on that side, we have nurses in Adeva doing some things,
Okay. So that would be a collaboration with who?
With other NPOs that do that
nice.
work, like, for example, you have Sanka Central and Westview Clinic, which have their own trucks which are dealing with clinical issues. Yeah.
So then your gig truck would create the hype and the excitement and show people that there's something happening.
Yes.
And then when they get there, there's a nurse that wants to take your blood pressure or test your sugar. Got it.
It is, yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Very smart idea. Yeah. So I know I'm putting you on the spot, but just pick one highlight of the gig trucks.
For me, the highlight is the provincial tournaments. So we start from the NPOs. So they would do categories: music, dance, poetry, drama, all those things, and compete there. The NPOs, like I said, they are 47. And then we'd go and do regional, and we do provincial. Now that for me is a highlight. Our young people are talented. I mean, like I told you when we met, some of the shows that I've watched, I feel like I could pay 450 rands.
Really?
I feel like
Really?
I was robbed.
That's beautiful.
And you would have instances. So the power of this is usually in such programs, you need to provide food for people. But the power is when you do that, like in Katlehong, you just have the community just surrounding the track. From morning to afternoon, we didn't provide food. We provide food maybe just for the performers, and people are just transfixed and watching young people do what they do best.
Very nice. It sounds like you're recreating, I don't know if I'm showing how old I am, but like the market theatre vibes with Gibson Kente, the stuff that they were doing with the young people way back when.
I think so. Or at least we have a platform for something like that could happen. That's my wish. Like we have vernacular poets.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
That's really, really nice.
Sure.
Okay, that is one. Let's move into the healthy lifestyle and success through academic excellence.
Yes.
How does that one work?
Good. So this is a very important program. It's based on a lot of studies. One was done by the UNODC,
Who's that?
United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime.
Okay.
So what they did is they looked at 52 countries and they studied substance abuse prevention programs. And they were looking at which ones are efficacious, which ones work scientifically, not just theoretically. And then from that study, they then designed the standards, right? And that is a very, very wonderful tool. You can Google it. It's called United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, International Standards on Drugs.
Okay.
And any NPO, if you want to do substance abuse prevention, and I'd say any program, because it's a beautiful document drawn up just to say what is evidence-based programs, what works, and what doesn't work. Example, what I told you earlier, that sports alone doesn't work, we got there. But before that, I thought, if you went to a place and got kids to play soccer.
Yes, because you're taking them off the streets, right?
Streets, right? So you find that that's probably 1 or 2 stars.
Wow.
Right? But you need to combine that. So it's a very, very, very powerful tool. So one of the things that they've done there is they've listed the risk factors because they looked at this, right? To say what are the risk factors that predispose a young person to using drugs and what are the protective factors. Beautiful. So that when you do your program, you make sure that your program minimizes the risk factors and enhances the protective factors.
Absolutely, yes.
So it gives you a direction as somebody who's passionate about something to say, okay, this is where I need to develop towards. So one of the risk factors is poor attachment to school. Right? That is one of the key risk factors. It's amazing how school work, even classroom management, is a risk factor.
What does that mean, the poor attachment?
Poor attachment to school. If a young person is poorly attached to school, they don't love school. They don't like going to school, right? So they don't like going to school. Such young people, they're going to spend time in toilets. When I was growing up, that's what it is, right?
That is when my children are boys and they don't like school. They just tell me all the time how school is abuse for children. So my children are at risk.
I don't know if it rises to the level of poor attachment.
Okay.
But if a young person loves school, it's a protective.
Okay.
Right? So this is key. What are the risks of substance abuse? Teenage pregnancy. Other negative risk behaviors, not like teen suicide and all those types of things, right? So when I learned that, for me it was a eureka, right? Because I've been in this space and I'm trying to find what works, etc. And here is evidence, scientific, which says if you get schools to work and do what schools are supposed to do, that's an intervention which hits so many things. I mean, that for me was a mind-blowing thing. So we then created a program that we called, at first, substance abuse prevention through academic excellence, right? So to say, we're going to go into a school. Our goal is going to be to increase academic performance,
right?
Because we reason that if young people pass, they're going to love school.
Okay, I was about to ask you, how is it different from Kimoja? But I think I'll have the answer, but let you tell us.
Yes, no, that's exactly it. When we go there, we're not going to do the models of Kimoja. When we pitch to a school, our pitch is, we are here to help you improve your results.
Okay,
right?
So how do you do that?
So first of all, that is a door opener, because everybody wants kids to pass, right?
Yes.
Number 2 is it coalesces different stakeholders around one goal. In that parents want the kids to pass, the principals want the kids to pass, the teachers want the kids to pass, the kids want to pass.
The kids want to pass.
So we are all, whereas if you're coming, you're saying, no, I want to come and teach you about drugs. Like, I want to teach you about this. But what we do is the knowledge of Kimocha, we apply it practical. So you asked, how do we do that? So let me get into that. The first thing about this program is we try and hit a number of risk factors. Can you guess what is the number one program that prevents substance abuse?
The number one?
Yeah, one of the leading programs.
I have no idea.
Parental skills.
Okay.
A program that has 4 stars out of 5 stars in efficacy in preventing substance abuse is parents program.
Okay.
Actually, the one that I think has 5 stars is a family program, right? Because right now programs target parents, we target young people. But in this program, very powerful program, it's called Family Support Program.
This is running in South Africa?
No. Yes. Somebody, I've been trying to get this program without success yet.
You're right.
But we're going to get it because it is actually a number one program. But you have facilitators go to a family. So they go into a home, they talk to the parents and the children in the house. So what you have 2 facilitators. Let's say we're doing with one subject, discipline. Parents are going to split into one room, kids into another room, talk discipline from their own perspective. Then they're going to come together, and then you facilitate now with kids and with parents in the same place. And then the program ends with the breaking of bread and a juice. Isn't that funny? I think.
And that is one. Do you see this happening in your grandmother's house where you grew up?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yes. No. We've been to we've gone to homes.
Is it?
Yes, we've gone to homes to implement the Kimocha program just this December.
Yeah.
And what we found, here's one thing that you can take to the bank. Parents love their children.
Yes.
And whatever you bring,
Okay.
that's going to help their children.
They will do it.
If a parent believes that that's going to help their children,
They're up for it. Okay.
let me assure you of that. No. We went to homes. And when they hear, you say, we're going to talk to you about your kids, how to stop them from doing drugs.
Yeah.
They stop what they're doing. They sit.
Is it?
And the challenge that we had is we had a time limit for people in those homes. And they said, you know what, when you get into a home, you can't get out early because the parents are just so eager.
So
absolutely.
Okay, so as kissing that is, I take that comment back about your home where you grew up.
No. The one thing you can bet on is the love of parents for their children.
Okay, great. So now how we got here is that we get all the stakeholders.
Yes, so we're talking about the Hills tie.
Yes.
That's the
Healthy.
abbreviation.
Yes.
Healthy lifestyle and success through academic excellence. So through that, when we get into a school, number one is we present to a principal. Here's the program. Here's how we're going to do it. When they buy in, we present to their school management team. We present to the educators. We present to the learners. And then we present to the parents. Right?
How long does this process take? Because this is your introduction, even your pitch. There's different stakeholders that you need to...
I know, but that pitch is working already. You understand? Because when you're talking about the program, you're actually impacting the principal.
Okay.
But to get the buy-in of the principal and to get the principal to understand that they need to be intricately involved with this, what we found is where principals have been involved and bought in, we have huge success.
Wonderful.
Right?
Wonderful.
So how that takes, sometimes it can be 2 days or 3 days because principals can set it up. He can say, we spoke to him. He says, okay, talk to my SMT, talk to educators, talk to learners, and parents are coming in the evening.
Oh, okay. So it's pretty quick.
So
it's not a long
can
drawn
be.
out process. Okay.
But it is a long drawn out, but it can be quick.
Okay.
So it differs from school to school.
Okay.
All
And
right.
then just to make sure I'm following that, with Kimoja, you explained to us how it is your volunteer that is facilitating this process, that is going into the school and pitching. Is it still the same process here?
Very good. So for this program, as I told you, I struggled to find funding. And it's amazing because it's the most impactful program. So I did find funding from UNODC in 1 year. And what it showed me is if I had people who are focused on it, because before then, what I would try to do is to get the Kimoja coaches to do this as well. And it just proved to be too much.
Okay.
So doing the camp is easy. Okay, let me explain how it happens so you understand it. So we talk to these guys. So let me tell you about what is the theory behind how do we change the results. The first thing that we do, we talk about the purpose for education. The purpose for education is discipline.
Right.
So I tell them the story of my friend. How do we teach discipline? There's 5 steps that the program does. These are the 5 steps to knowing. I learned them from a gentleman by the name of Sherman Owens.
Yes. He's
Yes.
an American pastor.
Yes. How do you know? The first thing is you have to unlearn. You have to forgive and forget. You have to learn. You have to apply what you've learned. And then you have to teach. So, if I were to summarize what this program is about, here's how it is. Here's how we get people to pass. We persuade them to teach the subjects they are failing. Right? So let me tell you. Unlearning. What do we unlearn? The most important thing to unlearn is the belief that they are brilliant students and they are dumb students. So during my time, we used to have grade 12A and grade 12H. 12A, Asians, maths. 12H, beeps, and history. And when teachers are going to 12H, they're praying in tongues. When they're going to 12A, it's a joy. But that belief is so dangerous because, let me tell you a story. They did a research in the USA. They took educators, they gave them students. They said, these are brilliant students. End of the year, they got brilliant results. And then they said to the educators, we lied to you. These are not brilliant students. We chose them at random. So what's the difference? If I talk to a child, I was told they are brilliant. I explained, they don't get it, but I said, but this is a brilliant child. I try. If I was told they're dumb, I try once, they don't get it, I say, let me see.
Yes.
So it's a very dangerous, it's dangerous from the parents. So parents have to unlearn this. So when I talk to parents, that's what I tell them. Why? Because your children will meet your expectations. If you have low expectations, they want to meet. If you have high expectations, they want to strive to meet. So if as a parent you think that your child is incapable, that's
what you're going to get.
Right? Teachers need to unlearn this. Right? But why is that false? Because everybody believes it. Because a fish swims in water. But if a fish tries to climb a tree, it's going to fail. So what we say to children is, all we have to find is your water. If you find your water, you're going to swim. Right? You take a tractor, you put it in a race course, it's going to fail. You take a race car, you put it in a field, it's going to fail. So each and every child is unique and they have their water, and our job is to find their water.
I love that philosophy so much because then everybody gets a moment to shine.
Yes.
Not just the ones that are in 12A.
Yeah.
Everybody gets to find their water and their moment where they're excelling and then their happy space. That's
100%,
beautiful.
yeah.
So this is happening in South African schools right now.
Right now.
Masbong.
Well, we're still in few schools, but we're having good results. So how do we do the unlearning? We run the camp.
Right.
That's where the camp comes.
The camp is for the learners or for the teachers?
For the learners.
It's for the learners.
Right, good. But before the camp, we run a team building for teachers, for staff of the school. We do a team building where we say, this is what we're going to do. This is the vision. We need to all work towards it, whether a sweeper or wherever, right? Beautiful results from that. We have a camp. The camp will sleep at the school. Boys in one side, girls in one side, sleeping on the floor. Why at the school? One, asset-based mentality.
What does that
We want to kill this mentality that says, if I'm going to find something that helps me, I need to get out of my township. All the good things are outside of Davidton or Soweto. Right? So we're saying you have assets in Soweto. This school is an asset. It has a floor. We can sleep in that floor.
is it? Okay.
We can use it. That's number one. So it cut cost. Number two, we take away excuses.
Because everybody gets to the school already, right?
Yes. There's a very dangerous disease. I don't know if you know about it, called excusitis. It is it's a contagious disease, right? So we take away the excuse. And if we went away, we will get the angels. But when we sleep in the school, we get the young people who are going.
Okay.
As I said.
So that's the unlearning camp?
So it's an unlearning camp. So what we do there in the unlearning, we kill this mentality of they are brilliant students and I can't, right? Very simple things like, let me give you a term. Interpret this for me. Individuals inhabiting crystalline domiciles should assiduously abstain from such activities as projecting geologically fragmented specimens.
Okay, you're going to have to say that again. I don't remember geology.
Individuals inhabiting crystalline domiciles.
What is that even? Oh, I know, I've got it.
You got it.
People who live in glass houses should not throw...
You got it.
Thank you, man.
So when I tell this to young people, I say, what did I say? They say, I didn't say anything. And then I say to them, a 2-year-old learns the whole dictionary without a teacher. How do they do that? A 2-year-old child will learn the whole language. That's learning a dictionary. But they didn't have a teacher who was saying A, E. How do they do that? Simple. They use 2 words. What and why. What is that, mommy? It's a bag. Why? You need to put things in the bag. Why? Because you can't carry many things in your hands. Why? Because if you carry many things in your hands, you're going to fall. Why? If you fall, you're going to bleed. Right? So we laugh, but through that, the child learns. So here's what we do. I say to them, that is how maths sound to some of you. When a teacher speaks maths or physics, it sounds like that. So we've got these 2 stores that you're going to unlock maths with. Right? Individuals, it's people. Inhabiting, staying. Right? All you have to do, if you are failing something, it's because you don't understand something. It's not that it's difficult. And here's what I tell kids, which is a very important paradigm change. If somebody is communicating, it's their job to communicate. If you don't get them, the communicator has no right to say, you are stupid because you didn't understand what I'm saying. If I came to you and I said, I know the way to Durban, and you said, okay, Ntlanta, explain it. I explain, you don't understand. I can't say you're stupid because you don't understand. You can say, Ntlanta, are you sure you know the way to Durban because you're not able to understand? So you can't feel like I'm stupid because I don't understand somebody. Because if they knew it, they have to explain it. Are you following me?
Yeah, that is so liberating.
Right?
Yeah.
To say, the proof that somebody knows something is them being able to explain it. That's where the teaching comes in.
Okay.
So that's what we are saying to you. So we take a class, we divide it into study groups, and we say to the study group, who has failed maths here? Me. We say, you are a subject leader of maths. They say, but I told you I failed in maths. What's the job of a subject leader? The job of the subject leader is to teach the small group in maths. But I've just told you I failed it. Say, no, don't worry. Why are we doing that? The first thing that we do is we're changing the role of that child. J.C. Maxwell says we see the world as we are, not as it is.
Sure.
So the reason that child is failing is because there's a particular role they are occupying when they're sitting during maths. I'm not good in maths. I can't understand maths. That's the role that... So when we change their role and say, you are a subject leader in maths, guess how they're going to listen? Differently.
Absolutely.
Because when the teacher speaks, they know, I need to teach what this person is saying, so I can't afford not to understand it.
Absolutely.
So we arrest them in that. So in a camp, we do the unlearning, and after that, in a study group, we give the failing student the maths paper and say, here, teach. I don't know, but we say, what does the 2-year-old do? They ask, so ask your mates. and they ask their mate.
Stop. That is, and right there is a big problem, because there's a thing in education that I must be able to figure it out myself.
Yes.
If I'm asking somebody else, it's wrong, I'm cheating, I'm copying. So you are causing them right there to say, no, it's okay to ask for help. Obviously not in an exam situation,
Yes.
no, but in an environment where I'm learning,
Yes.
it's okay to ask another.
It's 100%, right? So they ask, and this is Friday. Saturday morning, all the subject leaders have to stand in front of their study group and teach the question paper. So they're spending that time learning. It's an amazing transformation. When we start, they're uncomfortable. We start maybe at about 1. By 3 or 4, when you get into a school, see, right now, the time is 3. So if you went into that school in a camp in Kingsway, I can tell you the posture. Those kids are like this around maths. Because what's happening? The subject leaders are beginning to see this thing is not as difficult as I thought what it was, right?
Yes.
And some people ask me, okay, Danda, what's in this for the A student? What's in this for the A student is the A student is getting 80%, 70%. Where's the 30 and 20%? During this process, the A student is getting, because as this one is asking, this one are answering, at some point they can't answer. So where's the educator? The teacher is sitting there. When the study group is stuck, the teacher comes and he unlocks it for them. It's a very powerful laser focus system.
Beautiful. So everybody wins. There's no wasted time for anybody that's in there.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
The educator knows that if I'm called, this group doesn't know this. So
Even the A student wasn't able to help us then?
Didn't help.
Okay.
So if I explain this to this group, and I know that it was not a wasted time, right? Come Saturday, these guys stand up and they teach their study group. I've been doing this since 2008. It has never failed. A 2-day turnaround.
Yeah.
Somebody come, they got 20% in their math paper.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Saturday, they are standing and they are teaching that paper.
Yes,
right?
please.
Now, what we did is we did with the unlearning. So that the students has learned that I can do maths. I can choose not to do it, but I can.
But the competence
it's different from saying I can't
do it.
All right? Forgive and forget is those teachers who said you can't do it, your uncle who said you won't amount to anything. Regret is a wasted emotion.
Lulisa.
Let's go, yeah.
Okay.
Now we learn. Apply the information.
Are we still at the weekend camp?
Yeah.
Okay.
These are the 5 steps.
Okay.
Applying the information. This is very important. What do you do with the information? Right? Don't cram, understand it. And then teach. Right? That's what's happening at the camp. At the end of the camp, the kids, the study group, they give themselves name. I remember one group of boys, grade 7s. I said, what's the name of your group? They said, we eat maths for breakfast.
Let's play.
That's what they said. From Chambis.
Yeah.
Right?
Lovely.
But that's just a change. The most important part now is after the camp, where the study groups need to meet.
Okay. So we don't leave it at the camp.
No.
Okay.
This is just the
beginning.
Changing of the mind. It's the beginning, right? Remember, change is not an event. Change is a process.
Right.
The real rubber meets the tar when the study groups have to meet now 3, 4 times, 5 times a week.
Okay.
Weekends.
Right.
And they're now applying the process we taught them. The person who's failing life science, what are they going to be? A life science subject leader. The one who's failing physics is going to be physics. So they're doing all the subjects like that. And they're pushing each other like that. Right? And we're monitoring monthly.
And this is completely driven by the learners?
Yeah.
And that is, this is quite a big commitment. You're asking them to meet every day after school, even on weekends. Some people have got school, sport, other extramurals. How many people follow through the course?
That is where the rubber meets the tar. So that's where now my guys add value, because the facilitators then are the ones who are motivating the study groups to meet, who are making sure that the study groups meet. But most importantly, remember I said the purpose for education is to teach discipline. This is where discipline is being developed. So that's the harder part, right? Because it takes the whole year to mold that thing. Some people come, they don't come. You've got the ones who are strict, you've got the ones who are staying, but you've got a systematic move. Little by little, towards the exam, a lot of them are there, etc., but they are learning discipline. Now, this has produced results. I'll give one example. A school in Noto, in Davidton, 2021, before we were there, they got 40-something% matric pass rate. This was a school in ICU.
So 1 in 2 matrics did not make it?
Yeah. Amazing. 2022, the team started in August to December. They got about 50-something%. 2023, the team now had a whole year. Not even a whole year, but they had a bit of months. The school moved from 55% to 71.5%.
Yes, please. Yes.
And this has been done by the NEETs, the young people who just got matric. And that's how they approach it. So
yes, please continue.
So it produces results. So we've seen that. So that is the healthy lifestyle through academic excellence program. Not only is it healthy lifestyle and success, it's not just teaching academics. Do you see that? We are using academics to teach many skills. What are they learning? What you said. Whatever I don't know, my colleagues know. Right? Whatever you don't have, it is hidden in people around you. And what's the key? The key is humility and love. If you humble yourself to people and you are teachable, people will give you the gold that they have inside.
Yes.
What are they learning? The A students are learning the joy that comes from helping. Like literally, you see this person, they got 20% and I've helped them, and I can show you videos where they talk, where they say, at the end of the camp, here we didn't know each other, we were dissing each other, we were hating each other, but now we know we can help each other. We are closer, we are this. So they are learning that at a very critical phase, because these are teenage years, right? They are learning the power of teamwork, right? That teamwork makes the dream work, right? Yeah. So instead of me, like an A student normally would have to study everything alone. But this time, they are working with the team. And teaching is a better way of revising than cramming, etc., right? So many things are happening there. They're learning the power now of, you understand, sharing, teamwork, sewing, seeing other people as, the things that happen in a camp are incredible.
Wow. Okay, so let's summarize in Ntatazana.
Yeah.
The program starts with a camp. It's a 2-day camp at the school where
3-day camp.
Sorry, 3-day camp where the learners are already enrolled.
Yes.
Right?
It starts with talking to stakeholders.
100%, getting the buy-in into the process. But I mean, the principal has said yes, everybody said yes, it's all successful. We start with a camp. 3 days at school. We come out of there, we've got our groups that we've been allocated to, and we've got a facilitator from Team Zwane who's walking the journey with us. And this facilitator is going to meet with us as often as we decide we're meeting, daily, on weekends. We are going to determine that schedule for when we get together. And then it goes on until we finish.
It goes on. So what we do is we monitor, and then the camp ends with an award ceremony.
Okay.
Where we give awards. But this is an award ceremony with a twist.
Okay.
Because, every school has got that group of young people who've been getting awards from grade 8 to grade 12. We know exactly who they are.
Yes.
But in this award ceremony, it is all the failing students who are getting awards for what they did during the camp. And it's amazing. I mean, there was one boy who the teacher told me before I came, he said that boy is so taken by drugs that sometimes grade 8s find him sleeping in the toilet. He said, can you help him? I said, let him come to the camp.
Let him come.
And he came to the camp. So for 3 days, he didn't have drugs. He was subdued, but then he was one of the students who were teaching back, and etc. And in the award ceremony, he got an award. His mom went, so we invite parents during the awards. So his mom went and hugged him, the teachers, everybody was so happy. And then we said to the mom, we referred it to one of our partners to say, take him for a rehab. Because at least during this camp, he saw an option, right? He saw that, there is another way. It's going to be difficult for him to choose. He can't claim easy victories. Addiction is that's why you have to prevent. Because once a child is addicted, the war is massive.
We're talking about a child at what age?
This was a grade 12 child, so probably 17, 18. Yeah,
But for that weekend, there was breakthrough.
that was a breakthrough. That was a breakthrough. So this is a program, and this now, as I told you, is the business. So we have the young people who are the educator assistants I told you about. They've now opened a business, and this is what they're doing.
Oh, wow.
They are going to schools, and they are saying continue schools around.
Yeah.
We've spoken to parents, and parents understand, and they are paying.
Okay, stop. So there's two ways that people that are watching can access this.
Yeah.
Either through AYDF,
Yeah.
and how do they do that? They would give you a call and say,
They'll call, yeah. Or they can call and say, we want this program in our school.
and is this something that they have to pay for? How does that part of...
Yes, and when we come, we're going to explain the payment.
Okay, so there's a...
So there's a monthly fee that the parents pay.
Okay.
Because remember, the facilitators need to meet with the young people during the school, etc., etc. Yeah.
Okay, so there's some investment to that one.
Yes.
If they go through AYDF,
Yeah.
and they can also go through the, shall we call it the consortium?
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Yes,
is graduates of the
Yeah.
AYDF.
Yes.
So they can also go through them.
Yeah.
So now your competitors, your collaborators will
No, we
work.
we own shares.
You own shares.
in the
You did say-
consortium.
you
Yeah.
did say- you did
So the primary implementers of this right now is the consortium.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. This is such a beautiful story. Lovely. I would like us to get into the master class now.
Yes,
But
okay.
before we do that, there's one other program on customer service.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, let's talk a little bit about that, because that might be appealing to a different audience. Like maybe business people might be interested in that. So
how we got into that is we wanted, obviously, we have these young people, and we'd like them to have something that helps them move on after the program.
yes.
So we got this one accredited with the CETA. It's an accredited program. We've got introduction to customer service. So just like any other accredited program, you attend the classes, you have to do the portfolio of evidence and I think it's about 6 credits, the introduction, and the advanced, I think, is about 10 credits. And it just works like any other accredited program.
Right.
Primarily, we do it for the coaches so that they have some accredited documentation. Yeah. But we do it as well privately.
Okay, so you do offer it outside of
yeah.
the AYDF.
We
Okay,
do,
great.
yeah.
And what NQF are we talking?
Introduction, I think, is NQF level 4, advanced NQF level 5.
Okay. And then how long does the program take?
About 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Online, in person?
We've done it in person. We haven't done it online as yet. Yeah.
Okay. So if there's a business here that has people that are customer service agents or client-facing people, this is something that would be...
We'll be happy to sell.
What kind of modules or sections are you covering?
I don't know them by head right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So the training department would know them.
Okay.
They are the ones we had to teach.
Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful. That is one. Let's take a break here and then pick up on the masterclass.
Okay.
Thank
you.